Welcome all you lovers of drag. It's time yet again for another thrilling, exciting installment of, you guessed it, Gagging for More. Coming at you live every Saturday night, 4 p.m. Pacific time. That's 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Get Real Global TV and Get Real Global Radio KGRL. You can also watch us live on our YouTube channel. Just type in Get Real Global TV. We're also Get Real Global TV on Twitch and TikTok. And you can check out our Linktree page to see all of our social media and website links. All you got to do is type in at Jennifer DeVoe Muse. And then you can also check out our radio station, Get Real Global Radio KGRL on Spreaker. And we're also syndicated on iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube Music, TuneIn, SiriusXM, Pandora, Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Podcasts, plus pretty much everywhere else you can watch or listen to podcasts. And we're distributed by those nutty people at Sony Music Entertainment, Sony Music Publishing, The Orchard by Sony, and 50/50 Global Music Incorporated. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Jennifer DeVoe Muse. I want to say hello to everyone watching or listening to this broadcast around the world. And we're going to bring on our incredibly awesome co-host, none other than the famous Silent Giggles, the lesbian in charge, Tashina Saunders in the house. What's up, girl?
Hey, Silent Giggles speaking.
Exactly. She's Silent Giggles all the way from AZ, Arizona, for those of you who don't understand what that is. Exactly. I love it. How's it going tonight, my bestie?
Good. I'm high.
Me too. Fuck yeah. That's why great minds think alike. They really do.
Yeah.
We are going to bring on an incredible guest tonight. I'm very excited, of course. And we're going to bring on none other, the incredibly talented drag artist, none other than Hollow Eve in the house from the Boulay Brothers Dragula Season 3.
Hello. I'm your local post-binary drag socialist with a penchant for anarchy.
I've loved you ever since I saw you on Season 3.
Oh, thank you.
I just love that you're just so badass and unapologetic, and you're just you, and you speak up for the little people, you speak up for the voiceless, you represent us queerdos and all of us amazing artists out there that just want to be heard. And of course, fuck the patriarchy, and fuck
all of the fucking above.
Exactly.
Thank you. I went on the show to speak. That was it.
I love it.
And when they interviewed me, this story goes back to I was in LA doing a photo shoot with my friend Jillian Narling, and then we ended up going out with Vander Von Odd. This is maybe 2018. 2017, 2018. And Vander goes, so when are you auditioning? And I said what I said to everybody at that time. I was like, Season 6, girl. And she was like, wait a second, but why? No, you need to audition now. And I was like, I just say that because I'm never auditioning. I don't want to be on reality TV. And so then my friend Jillian spent the ride all the way home going, just go on there and say everything nobody will say because they're too busy trying to win a competition. Like, go stand up for the artists, stand up for the people. And I was like, okay. And then over the course of a couple of years, I ended up getting into really close friendships with Abora and with Vander and some other people on the show. And it just kind of, and Pinche, and it kind of just unfolded that I auditioned. So, yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. I really do. And I think you were perfect for Season 3. You were a good mix and balance to the other fuckers who just cried all the time. You weren't like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, I had a solid tantrum for sure.
Yeah, but it was justified. You know what I mean?
Well, it feels like that, but what it is it's not me. It is me. I actually, the edit is not something that I think about as something that's not you. It's a facet of you, however uncomfortable that facet might be. It's just not a complete picture of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
right.
I hadn't slept for 2 days and I'd had 12 Red Bulls that day. So like, who I was absolutely not mentally well at the time.
Completely understandable, especially after no sleep and 12 Red Bulls. I mean, holy shit.
I had never had a Red Bull before I filmed Dragula, and I have never had another one since.
Oh, shit. Is it as much of a pressure cooker as everyone like sees, on television? I know like production, they're always going to ramp stuff up, but is it really like competition? Like, you know what I mean?
I would say it's a mix, right? So, yeah, it's intense. The days are really long, and sometimes you're not allowed to wear the costume you brought, and so you have to make a whole new one. Really? So in circumstances like that, the pressure cooker gets crazy. But also the pressure cooker leading into it is equally wild. Like getting a list, and I think I had about 2.5, 3 weeks to get 15 looks together. And as someone who normally makes all their own costumes, it just felt inconceivable to me to be able to do that. I did end up having a costume made, but I was overwhelmed for sure. Like it was not enough time for me. And I had like mixed feelings because I had a lawyer and we went into negotiations. And if I hadn't negotiated for so long, I would have had a little bit more time to make stuff. But my season had a particularly large amount of people who had like a 2-week
line. Okay. I got you.
Which is short.
Okay. Yeah. No, it doesn't sound like a whole lot of time.
No. That's like you have to make a costume every 2 days. You have to be done.
Yeah.
And
to make that elaborate of outfits to sustain yourself through the whole competition, that would be, you know what I mean? Because you're up against all these other incredibly talented artists also. And then, you know what I mean? You each bring something different in the sense of your style of drag, but it's like, it's just crazy to me. Like an outfit every 2 days. Like if you're actually making your own stuff, that's like crazy.
Yeah. And the comparison is like, doesn't really exist for me. Not really. I don't ever think about my art and go, oh, compare me to this person. There's no there's like zero reason to do that. I truly believe that comparison is a thief of joy. And I've spent enough time, I mean, taking up space. Like I started drag in 2002, before Drag Race existed, and I spent enough time taking up space in the drag community that like I'm very comfortable with where I've come to with my art, and that it's not going to be for fucking everybody, and nor does it need to be. But also, I don't need everybody's art around me to be for me. I also don't need to get it. Respect other people.
Yeah, totally. No, I agree with that. That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
A lot of other artists want to totally always compare their stuff with yours, and if they don't like it, they put it down. And it's like, but my art is my art, and art is subjective, just like Boulets always say. Art is subjective.
I wish they practiced that.
Really?
I don't think they practice subjectivity in art. I think they have a plan, and that's not subjective. Subjective is to like tell your honest truth about something, but there is manipulation in the critique, and there is stuff that makes it feel like this isn't real. Like they're trying to spin a narrative. Like I'll give you an example. 2 people can do really fucking good on a challenge, like where judges are like, I don't know, man, they were both fucking blew my mind cells, but you still have to pick someone, and you don't to push the other person down to validate your choice if you're being subjective. You
Right.
can literally say, this was fucking hard, but I still had to choose. You know what I mean? Then
Yeah.
that's subjective.
Yeah.
But like, you
Right.
know, I think that definitely, you know, like hearing like critiques edited for me that I never received, that was like,
Oh.
you don't have to do that. It's okay that Landon and I both fucking killed the vampire challenge. We're friends. We both knew we
Yeah.
killed the vampire challenge. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like in
Yeah.
totally different ways. And if I had to say one of the reasons why I think Landon won is because Landon had a, you know, a fucking far more creative use of the fan, which was the twist, right? And so, like, to me,
Right.
that can, you can just say both of these artists fucking destroyed this. You don't have to.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wish your performance could have been better from someone who never said that to me. You know what I mean? I fucking
I got you.
yeah. No,
Interesting.
I don't have questions about that. So to me, subjectivity is being honest and not needing
Yes.
in those kind of things. So if you want to
No, I agree.
you're allowed to be in a hard position as a judge and to have trouble making a decision and to still
Right.
choose whoever you choose. That's
Right.
what is subjective. But if you
Yeah.
have to edit the other people to make your choice the superior one or to not experience conflict in your own decision, I don't really
Right.
think that's particularly subjective. I think that you are now altering the
The
subjectivity.
perception. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, completely agree. And it's good to know that, you know, because every one of these TV shows, whether it's this new one with the Drag Kings, you know, which I actually really like on Reverie, that new Drag King competition, which is awesome.
Yeah, there's some really fucking amazing performers. I haven't watched
Yeah.
it yet because I just don't watch TV, but like I
Yeah.
know that they're fucking killing it for sure. I
Yeah.
will eventually watch it.
I like to see the artistry
Yeah.
from each person and just looking like I can appreciate anyone's art. I don't like to sit there and be like, you know, I guess maybe I wouldn't be a great judge on one of these shows, but you know what I mean? Because it's you have to like pick apart all the different aspects of things. Like
Yeah.
I've been a judge for music competitions, and I don't want to like the way I word it though is to be constructive in the sense of how to help them to elevate their artistry and not feel like I have to tear it down in the process, because I don't want them to feel bad, because everyone's art is a reality and everyone's art is their own art, and you can't sit there and say your art is wrong and your art is right and your art is wrong. You can't do that, because then you're tearing down that artist, so then they're not going to want to keep trying and want to keep making incredible art for the world. Like,
Well,
you
and
need
that-
to be, well,
maybe what you think also isn't valid to their journey. Like, I would give this an example. You know, like, do you ever have a musician where you really love an album, and then you love the next album, and then suddenly there's an album and it's out of left field and you're not ready for it? And then they do 2 more albums, and then you're back online and now it's great again. But then eventually you revisit those middle albums and you realize you just weren't in the right time in your life to receive them or to understand the journey. Like, sometimes you're coming into an artist's process of discovering themselves. And I just think, there's not really, like, I think that a solid difference between me and like something like Dragula when I've judged pageants is I'm not interested in viewing the art through what I would have done. I'm interested in see what they're trying to give me. And then as a judge, I reflect back what I think they were telling me in the story so that they feel validated. And then I might come in and say, if this was what you were trying to do, this part could have been a little bit stronger, or you didn't need words. You did it with your performance, which is something that happens a lot in drag, is people have signs and words and stuff because they're not actually trusting that they brought the story in their performance.
So, I like that. I like that approach. That's really good. I always want to lift people up and not ever tear anyone down, because everyone's art is their art. You know what I mean? You can't be like, oh no, no, like that's their art.
You're welcome to not like it. Like, it's okay. Like, I would say that also art is not all meant to be comfortable. I think that we
Yeah.
think of drag as entertainment. And I think that's a
Mm,
very small portion of what it is. I think the largest portion of what it is it's a space for the most raw and authentic queer stories to
mm,
unfold in
I
order
love
for
it.
community to be seen. And
Yes, I agree.
that is uncomfortable sometimes. That is
Yeah.
heart-wrenching. It also
Mm,
makes me laugh so hard I pee my pants. And I personally just want a little bit of everything. I'm a greedy audience member. I want you to make me laugh till I pee. I want to cry with like the depths of my soul, and then I want to dance
love
until
it.
my spirit is free. That's the
I
club.
love it.
That's it. That's what I want. I want
I
everything.
love it. I love it. That is such a great way to be. You know what I mean? I love it. I love
Well,
that.
it opens the space, and it opens the
Yes.
space for a more community oriented experience, which means
Yes.
we're not always looking to art and artists to reflect
Mhm.
us back at us, but
Yeah.
also to build community and
Hmm.
understanding and empathy and compassion. Catharsis is a major thing. It's an exchange of
Right.
energy. I don't exist without my audience. My audience
Mm.
makes me possible to make art, and depending on
Right.
how we both show up, the art is actually shaped in almost a mold by the energy that pre-exists in the space, and
Oh,
like
I
the
love
energy we're going to give and receive from each other. And sometimes as a performer, I feel like I can't feel and can't connect to that energy because maybe there aren't as many people in the audience who came and are connected to what I do as art.
it. Hmm.
And then I overcompensate. It shifts my performance because I'm trying to plug into this like electrical energy that maybe this isn't the space where I'm plugging in. And then at the
Hmm.
end, I feel like, oh, it didn't go right for me. And then people might come to me and go, oh my God, that was incredible. And they were connected. I just, it didn't flow. And then sometimes it hits so hard that I'm like floating out of the space on a fucking cloud. Like it couldn't have gone better,
Wow.
you know?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that. I like that. That's really nice. You have a
So
great mental attitude about things. I really enjoy that. And I love that your art has a message and that you're okay with I love the filth aspect of everything you do. I love that you're free in that and that you just give your whole heart to everything. You can tell when you watch one of your performances that you're just like all in. Like this is me at my most raw, take it or leave it. And I just love that about you, that you just flow freely like that. That's a really great thing.
thank you. I think that years of trying to come into a space where I love myself, I love my body, I love who I am, I feel
Mm.
connected to myself, and I'm letting go of shame. The
Mm.
shadows that keep us from experiencing one another as a community, the shadows that keep us from experiencing ourselves and keep us in a
Mhm.
lane of choices that have been predetermined by something you don't have to follow. Like,
Mhm.
like we don't have to
Right.
follow any of this. We don't have to
Yeah.
be in a religion. We don't have to have a political party. We have each
Yeah.
other. Like I keep
Amen.
back to this core because like the community in art can be the space where people find themselves, free themselves to feel. Like I've produced a couple of shows that in my mind have the shifted me as an artist because of
Mhm.
the overall experience. And like maybe like 6 months before I filmed Dragula, I produced a show called The Church of Nihilism, which
Oh wow. I love it.
an,
Oh.
an oxymoron in many ways, but it was, we were destroying gender, like tropes of
Mhm.
gender using
Right.
tropes of the Catholic Church. And it
Oh,
was the
okay.
time I came into this ideology that is really sticking with me today, which is that I'm was that all the artists in the show stayed in the
Mhm.
audience the whole time. I was not
Mm.
interested in having an experience where people went backstage and checked out. Like I
Mhm.
want to not just be seen, I want to see. And I think that mutual relationship, but like as we went through like the rituals of the Catholic Church and
Mhm.
these performances, were very naked. I actually, one of the funniest things about being on a reality TV show is that most of the time I'm naked. I'm often naked. So
I love
having
it.
make a lot of costumes and wear a lot of wigs, that wasn't really like per se my jam. There was a time where I just started being like, well, can I put my my stomach flap, my roll that I'm so uncomfortable with, can I put that just out there? Can I just be out there naked? Am I allowed to do that? And you're not allowed to do that, but I did that. And over and over and over again, I once built an outhouse outside of the Stud Bar in San Francisco so that I could create an hour-long installation about body dysmorphia and shame of what we put in a bathroom, whether it be queer sex or like gender control and keeping trans people from using the right bathrooms and like of the shame, even the shame women experience of having to breastfeed a child in the shit. Like it's like such a wild space. So we built that, and then we could have done it inside, but I wouldn't have been able to be naked. My artist working with on it couldn't have been naked, and the whole thing started with us on the street with me naked masturbating on the toilet, and then like legit, like it was.
I love it.
And my partner in this whole thing was born between my legs out of the toilet, and like,
fuck yeah!
It was definitely. It was a piece that was kind of wild. Also, I feel like 2018 was a year that transformed me, and like that it's possible that if I hadn't done Dragula, that my life would have moved in a very different direction. But you make the choices you make,
right?
Because 2018, my understanding of what I made as art had shifted so fundamentally that when I approached doing Dragula, it couldn't, I had become an artist who was doing these long pieces, durational performances, things where my body is in pain for like 12 hours.
Wow.
So like, or like my art is just long. It's different format. So fitting that back onto like a smaller stage or like a runway, it's like I never thought that my art would quite make it onto the show. And I'm not sure that it did. I think components of how I make art and things that I use as tools in my art made it onto the show. And because it's disconnected from the plot or story that I created because of the way they edit the show, right? Actually perceive it in the way that I intended, right?
Right.
Got you. It's like a music video and they're like cutting between us and you don't see my performance. There's no way.
Okay.
Right?
I got you.
So like, I feel like almost everyone who watches Dragula would celebrate the day they chose to give each runway a solid 30 to 45 seconds. Uninterrupted.
Okay, got you.
Like these artists should do their work uninterrupted and we should see what it is. You know what I mean? And then that I think all Dragula fans would be really excited with that change. They'd be like, wow, wouldn't it be amazing if you got to see each one of those runways and then edited out in like 45 seconds is like that music video mashup that collects them all together. So you get this final taste of what everybody did. Like,
nice.
They should.
Good idea.
We don't talk anymore. So.
Oh, damn.
It's okay.
What happened with that? No, I was kidding. You probably can't.
There's nothing. I'm not under contract in any capacity anymore.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's not that we're not a fit. There's nothing wrong with it. Like,
gotcha.
At the end of it, I felt a little bit like if my art is the most sacred part of me, and it is. It's one of the most sacred things I do. I'm here on this earth to make art, to be in community, to possibly be in more teaching and learning environments for other artists and for myself. I'm here in this capacity, And, it's to watch the rollout of like my art become something where I put it into the hands of people who didn't get what I was doing and couldn't respect it because of the moment. So
Gotcha.
it's like not really about them, and it's about me, right? It's about me
Right.
understanding that my work had already moved to this other place, but also like right when they asked me, I had just
Yeah.
lost my housing in San Francisco. I didn't know
Oh.
what I was doing. I was at this very precarious time. I was feeling a little lost, and I thought, what if this thing that I never thought could be what I did? What if this is a path I should take? And I have,
Right.
and I'm glad that I did. I'm not, I don't have regrets about it. I think I used to regret it. But now I'm just grateful for what I've learned. I'm grateful for the people that I know and that I love and I hold dearly. And
Right.
you know, I'm grateful for the experience of it because it taught me so much about what I do value, who I am, and what success is to me, because it's not reality, you know.
No, yeah, totally.
I get a lot of like messages about, am I going on Titans or this or that, and that just
Yeah,
that won't ever happen.
I got you.
But I will support any one of my friends to do anything, and you know, and help them through the process. I would help anyone build costumes. I would help anyone that I love, you know, try to fulfill their dream and also prepare them for, you know, the mental fallouts that come from, you know, the mental emotional fallouts that come from putting yourself out there like that.
Right. Not just putting yourself out there like that, but some people, like, they get closer to the end or whatever, where they're the last 6 or what, you know what I mean? Like that, whatever. So they get like, oh God, I might be able to win this. And then they build it up and build it up in their mind, like, oh my God, I could win this. Like maybe, okay, now I'm there's only 4 left. Oh, there's only 3 left. And then you don't win, someone else gets picked. The devastation. And I don't know if Boulay Brothers, if the Dragula is the same as Drag Race. Drag Race, you don't find out whether you won or not until months later when they actually air the finale. Like you don't even know. Like they've already pre-filmed all these, okay, this winner thing, and then this winner thing. And so they do a scenario with each one, and or maybe 2 of them, like Courtney Act and Bianca Del Rio. They did, oh, what if there was a tie? And, you know what I mean? So then that hurts Courtney Act's feelings. It's just like a whole thing. Like, what if you don't win? How is that going to... So a lot of these people end up being very extremely devastated and emotionally just drained when they're like, oh, fuck, I didn't win.
I was emotionally drained by death threats, and those death threats came to my apartment in LA.
Wow, really?
They physically were pounding, trying to get into my apartment.
What?
I was in a circumstance at the time where I had
quickly.
Well, I mean, a comprehensive amount of things.
That you didn't do anything wrong.
That's not true.
You didn't do anything wrong.
I would say
you were amazing.
I put my foot in my mouth more than once, and I would say that actually probably, you know, especially on my final episode where I'm basically delirious, I basically have been like jumping over the hurdles of misogyny for like time filming, but also, you know, the final straw is that I can't have blood on my tampons. It's like,
oh, right. Yeah,
it's so ridiculous. It didn't even end up needing to be edited out. It probably means I should have done the original look.
Right.
But also like that moment where I wasn't inclusive about menstruation was not on purpose. But I mean, it's certainly something for anyone to reflect on. If queer people think that they're not transphobic, homophobic, racist, ableist, fatphobic, I mean, that's the culture we were raised in. And when those things come up, you need to address them. And so in that moment of experiencing all this misogyny, I found myself on a stage feeling a need to fight for women, right? But then tripped over even including myself. And I remember I didn't even know or understand what I'd done until I watched the episode, and I was like, I didn't even include myself in this. And it's
Okay.
it was like a moment to really look at what part of my relationship with my body had I ascribed to a gender role, and how
Okay.
do I need to unpack that as a construct versus
Right.
because my physical body is not my gender. It's
Right.
but it's the oppression of the physical body, and the oppression and kind of things that I work through in my art involving things like pain are connected back to some of the reasons why misogyny and patriarchy are so, oppressive. So
Yeah.
I wish I had been more inclusive in that moment, and I had
Mhm.
said people who menstruate versus women, but I was also in that moment dealing with like kind of a wild range of misogyny and fat phobia on set. And
Wow.
most of it was stuff that's just casual that you experience all the time, right? But most people don't realize it is, right? Like even they're complimenting you. Oh my God, you can dance? I had no idea you can dance. You're such an incredible mover. I was so shocked because I'm fat. And
Oh, I got you. Yeah, don't assume that. Right.
it's so
Yeah.
crystal clear. So like to me, it's not something that you have to like necessarily raise an alarm about, but there were all of these like micro things that were adding
Right.
up by the time we get to the final episode, right?
Right.
And it's, I would still say to this date that I don't think any reality TV show has handled fat phobia at all. I think that they have
No, I got you.
they
Yeah.
have villainized fat people at every turn, and they've celebrated fat people losing weight at every turn. And so
Good
it's
point.
like,
No, good point.
and so like somehow you were lesser than before,
Yeah.
and and that's just part of society. But like, I think that there's a feeling of objectification that exists in all of that, and I think
Mhm.
possibly why my art is so naked is that I don't
Mhm.
want a facade. I don't want to always have
Right.
myself and shape my body
Right.
to someone's
Right.
pleasure or to be an object of someone's pleasure. I mean, the
Right.
people that will fetishize me for my fatness, or be attracted to
Ooh.
my body as it is, but I want to be attracted to my body as it is. I want to
Right.
in that space, and I've been a dancer my whole life. So when people are shocked
Nice.
that I can dance,
I love it.
it's probably because they don't know that much about me as a performer, which is what
Yeah.
I found to be true from Dragula. I don't think they knew who I was, and
Okay.
that's okay too. That's okay too. It's not like when you apply for something, you're not,
Mhm.
you kind of tell them who you are. I had
Yeah.
performed at the Boulay Brothers show,
Okay.
Queen Song in downtown LA before I was on the show.
Okay.
So they knew some things about me for sure. You
Okay.
know,
Got
like
you.
most venues, you can't get away with nudity, and I just
Yeah.
happen to,
Or stuff with blood or certain other
yeah,
types of things. They get all.
yeah. And I performed at a lot of sex parties, a lot of femme sex
Nice.
parties in San
Love
Francisco.
it.
And I also grew up at the Stud. And when the Stud wasn't owned by
Nice.
Collective, was owned by a gentleman named Michael Michelini, and he owned it for like 27, 28 years. And he was
Okay.
the kind of person who, like, he thought the greatest job in the world was
Hmm.
coming to work and seeing weirdos, just freaks, make art.
Love it.
And because that was the greatest job in the world, he spent the 80s and 90s collecting every like card he could to allow
Mhm.
performers to go as far as they could. They had a
Okay.
license for urination, for bleeding,
Wow.
for all of these different things, but you couldn't be naked. But I don't think people were really
Okay.
checking up on it as much, and most of us just went naked sometimes. It was
Oh.
this great.
I mean, have they never been to a titty bar or a burlesque show? There's a lot of nudity in those fucking things,
I'll
especially
never,
if you're at a strip club. Yeah, maybe you have to have pasties over your nipples or something, but you pretty much the rest of you, except for, well, you got to wear underwear, I guess.
That's a state by state basis. There are states
Oh, got you.
you can't show the like crease of your butt or the crease of your under boob, and they have to wear special protection even in strip clubs to protect people from seeing those things. Like burlesque have special things that they have to wear in order to get beyond what would be called like a blue law, right?
Talk about fucking controlling a woman's body and the nudity, I mean, and stuff. Like, fuck that shit. Like, what the hell?
Well, and that, like, you know, comes from like, you know, kind of like a puritanical thing, the way they connected it to everything. They connected it to liquor licenses. So
okay, got you.
You know, getting a liquor license is so hard in so many places. So like, if people are naked, you could lose your liquor license.
Wow, that's just some bullshit.
That's the kind of thing that would happen like in San Francisco, for example.
Fuck, that's nuts. That's what I'm saying. It's like men want to control every fucking thing about us. You know what I mean? As biological females, right? And you want to control everything about us, include just everything. They want to, including like, oh, now they're trying to defund Planned Parenthood and take away every little thing. And it's like, motherfucker, it's not just about abortion or whatever. It's about, you know, and first of all, that's a woman's right. And another thing, like, they also do like cancer screenings for men and women. And they do like all kinds of other great things for the community, help with, you know, like safe sex and other shit. It's like, come on now.
Planned Parenthood doesn't do surgical abortions. And they only do pill abortions. So they're only early abortions. Like, it's other abortion clinics in states where it's still legal that can do surgical abortions.
Right. Got you.
So like, I remember when there was like all these conspiracy theories coming out about like finding fetuses in the dumpster at Planned Parenthood.
See, that's what I'm saying. They do that on purpose. Fucking orange Cheetos and their fucking maggot followers like to like they always like to vilify everything a woman does and make it like, oh no, we got to make this illegal. There's dumpster babies and da 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 da. Like, bitch, that's not even happening. You people are so fucking stupid. Just believe anything that you're told, anything you see on fucking TV, especially Fox News. We're gonna leave it anyway.
I think that, you know, especially in this time, I think about heteronormative constructs and how that is so trapped in a binary, right?
Okay. Yeah. No. Good point. Good point.
What a man is in the heteronormative world,
right? Yeah.
He's an aggressor to fuck a woman, and what a woman is an object to be fucked by a man. What all T people are women in that structure.
Gotcha.
And that is what so disrupts the hetero male, is that actually all of the LGBT community becomes an object under a normative structure. And so I look at it, and then you look at like any kind of internalized misogyny, whether that be trans misogyny in the lesbian community, which we know is alive and well, in the gay community. And a lot of that is the internalized position of being placed into the category of object or inhuman, as the entire community has been, right?
Right.
And you know, you know, that's why most heteronormative people, I don't mean heterosexuals, I mean people who have never thought about their gender or about their sexuality.
Right.
And so they've just accepted the structure, or they've been brainwashed.
Right. Good point.
They look at it and they don't understand the difference even between trans and gay, because to them, gender and sexuality are the same thing in a heteronormative world. And so the gift of being queer is to know oneself.
Yes.
And to come out is the like invitation to go spelunking within yourself, which is why I think it is always so important that we have a strong art community and a strong place for gathering and performance, because that's the space where we continue to explore and break down structures that dehumanize not just us, but others, all people. And that,
Okay.
like the deep truth for me, in this timeline and where we are right now is that all people are valuable inherently and internally. And that I don't have any questions about that. I have no questions about that. But what it takes to let go of the idea that you're only valuable based on your work, your money, your race, your gender, your sexuality, like those kind of things. Capitalism is a beast of dehumanization. And it is a white colonial project. It is linked to white colonization. And it's something to be unpacked within all people who are raised in it. But like, I think definitely the journey to unpack it is laden with a shame that a lot of people find a bumper they can't get over in shame. And then also, just the ideology we're raised in, right? This ideology of Americans being superior, that ideology is one that makes us ashamed to be wrong, ashamed to not know. And what that has effectively done has killed our curiosity. And curiosity is one of the greatest gifts we are given for our soul to experience a physical body form. And it's
nice. Yes.
Any artist is given is to explore themselves, their perspective and lens through the world, and then also to view others, which is why I've made it of the utmost importance that my art is not just seen, but I see with my art. That I'm not interested in being cushioned away from the world in my own artistic practice. I'm interested in being aware and seeing other people's art in that practice, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I like that. Okay, so for our viewers out there who don't understand these constructs and understand what all these different terminologies are, can you please explain to us what post-binary would be?
Post-binary specifically. So post-binary was created, I think, explored intellectually in San Francisco in, I think, the late 80s and the early 90s. And it was to say that I am post-binary because nothing has actually ever been binary. I'm post-binary because I'm shedding the binary, but not because that was the truth, but because itself it was a construct. So that idea, it's like saying, if you look back, you can find trans people in art and literature and history. You can find queer everywhere. So I think that I actually went through many drag names and many drag ideas. And I think
interesting. How
I landed where I landed was the things I didn't like about how you show up in drag and what was needed to show up. And this comes back to, I want to be in the club to see and not just be seen. And it's also why I don't like doing 2 numbers. I'd rather do one 12-minute number, which will be good, I promise, than do 2 separate numbers, because I want to watch everyone else perform. Sorry, my brain just kind of floated off. But like, I was deconstructing the idea that you have to make yourself a ruler, a monarchical person, in order to have the confidence to go on stage and say you're worthy of it. And I actually just think everybody's worthy of it. And so I said I'm a post-binary, as in I'm acknowledging that even though I'm saying that that I'm coming from a construct of binary, that the binary is not what has ruled the world forever. So that's what the post-binary is. The drag socialist is a breakdown of the hierarchical kind of like, I need to be a king or a queen in order to be valuable enough to take up space, which also allows for a level of ego to step into it that I'm not super interested in. And so it's a breakdown in that. And the penchant for anarchy is that actually I'm an anarchist, not a socialist.
Hell yeah. I love it.
And you can be both an anarchist and a socialist, which is like a
Yeah,
wild,
why not?
people don't quite understand, but the
I'm
like,
both. Damn right. I'm an anarchist and a socialist. Damn right.
I definitely, yeah. So that's the
Well,
breakdown.
I think you spoke to me. That's why I think you kind of like a lot of what you say and do really speaks to me as not just an artist, but as a human. I talked to Auntie Harry about this back a few weeks ago about how I've always felt like I didn't really march in the path of being male or female. Like sometimes I feel I'm like maybe more one, I don't know, entity more than the other, not like in a construct of gender, but just like sometimes I have more of a masculine energy, or sometimes I have maybe more of a gentle feminine energy. Every day is different for me. So I always thought maybe I am non-binary.
It's very
I don't know, and I'm like, but I'm 52, so now people are gonna look at me. You're old, and you're just jumping on this young people bandwagon, and I'm like, no, that's how I've always felt.
You should definitely not worry about it. Like, don't worry about how old you are. Just follow your path. Whether or not other people understand it, and whether or not they're willing to go the distance to unpack it. Part of it is that some aspects of our community are so wrapped up in one identity that if you choose this other path, you make it so complex their brains explode.
Oh, got you. Okay,
like,
yeah.
Like who can or cannot be a lesbian? Like there's a lot of people that have very strong opinions about this.
Hey, T, what do you think about that? She's a lesbian. Yeah. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of turfs out there, and a lot of, but like, yeah, it just exists, and so not everybody's ready to go. Not everybody's ready for the path of unpacking the trauma that makes them unable to allow physical bodies and trans people to exist. And I'm not saying that's an okay thing. I'm not saying it's an okay thing. I think that it's weaponized trauma, and it's why it's so important that we actually have hard conversations in community and actually witness uncomfortable art, because it can shake us to our core. And the idea that we don't want to be shook to our fucking core is control. And allowing traumatized people to control looks a lot like fascist Cheeto energy to me.
Amen. Amen.
Other fucking rowling bitch.
Fuck that transphobic cunt. Fuck her.
For sure. Fuck her.
Not literally, but you know what I'm saying.
Because I'm not really interested in people's weaponized trauma anymore.
Yes. Totally.
It's like,
I love it.
When you use your trauma to control others, you are not doing a service to your trauma or anyone else. You are not addressing or allowing your worldview to shift into a space where you are in any kind of healing modality with community. So they find each other as turfs to fucking come together. And there are men who are turfs. I think it's really strange that it's like been like denoted solely to to women. It's a large group of people, and it knows every kind of gender, and it's weaponized trauma, and they're pointing a finger at a group of people as if other people existing in a shared identity will like disqualify their trauma and disqualify their identity, when the reality is we're human beings. We all have totally different levels of trauma, and that should not keep us from one another. I don't believe healing in isolation. I don't believe that you have to love yourself before other people can love you. I think
no, I got you. Yeah.
Individuality that comes with American culture, and that's on purpose, and that keeps from one another because we're trying to pursue a perfection ideal of American propaganda,
Yeah.
fantasy, in order
Right.
to appear successful, achieve this or that. But what we actually
Right.
need to achieve right now is humanity, our collective.
Amen.
Through
Yes.
mutual aid and care. We can't rely
Yeah.
on the government to feed us, house us, help
Right.
us. We have to
Yes.
do it for each other. Fuck
Yes.
them. We have
Yes.
to
Amen.
we got to get in the way. We got to stop. We got to stop ICE with our bodies. We've got
Yes.
to, and people who can't build community online, if you are disabled or need to be at home because you are still needing to avoid the COVID, right? Like
Right.
we need
Right.
to remember like all the different ways that we can show up. Like we can be working to make sure each other are fed. Any money we give,
Yes.
I no longer really believe in nonprofits, especially the big ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give it
Yeah.
directly to fucking people you know. Give it directly
Amen.
to people in your life. Like there's something weird about, I saw something online the other day about how you can be in a friend group and there can be a friend there who can afford a $5,000 purse and a friend who can't pay rent that month. And like that,
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
something disordered
Yeah.
in this society that we've built, and then we place this blame as if your only value is working, when
Right.
so many of the circumstances are so much bigger than that. But
Yeah.
I'm not here for eugenics. I'm not here to label people as
Right.
unworthy of life. That
Right.
all of that is a history that has been playing out and trickling through us for centuries now, and
Right.
it needs to stop.
Yeah.
Through us, we need to just actually say you're a human being and I have no qualifications for you to be considered a human being. I don't say you're valuable because you work. I don't say you're valuable because of this. You're valuable because you had children. You're valuable for this. You're
Right.
valuable inherently because you're living in a body here on earth in this timeline with me. Right.
Right.
And when we finally can value one another, guess what else will be valued? Animals, plants, the earth, like things we haven't been able to value because we haven't figured out how to value ourselves or other beings. It's a rat race and it's a capitalism construct. And so I I have those mixed feelings. I have really mixed feelings about reality TV. Because
because a lot of it's just produced. It's overproduced.
Here's the thing is no matter how many times I say, or you say, or anyone says, it's reality TV. I know it's not real. You just called it reality and you fucking gaslit yourself.
Yeah.
And so like, that's how Trump is our president. So if we want to continue down the pathway wherein what is being gaslit, what reality is and what we are capable of achieving with one another. There's a reason why they like drama. Because it's decisive and we want to see that story because we're constantly watching that play out around us.
He's taking everything right out of dictators' playbooks, basically, like stuff that's Stalin or any of these other ones have done, whether it be but like the orange Cheeto in particular, I just get pissed off because people would rather vote in a 34-time felon that's a rapist, misogynist, pedophile, tax cheat, a liar, a fucking con artist, a goddamn fucking grifter, whatever you want to call him. And then also, he's gone bankrupt 6 fucking times and will bankrupt 50 more million businesses. He already bankrupted America once, and now these fucking idiots are okay with him bankrupting us again. And now this time it's going to be an authoritarian regime where the motherfucker now has full control over everything and starts exacting fucking Project 2025. He already has. He's already been exacting all of it. Him and that Stephen Miller bitch. And fucking now they're just like terrorizing families and ripping people apart and putting people into concentration camps like he's fucking Hitler. And a lot of people don't realize that son of a bitch has a fucking copy of Mein Kampf, personal copy, at his fucking house. He's a piece of garbage. Everyone that surrounds him is a piece of fucking garbage. All of his yes men, bootlickers, dick suckers, and all the fucking ass kissers, all them fucker people need to go. Every cocksucking one of them, they all need to fucking go. Everyone, I get very sorry. I get
don't apologize. Go off.
Very passionate about politics, especially when we have pieces of shit like that in the government. And now he just got Stephen Colbert fired. Now he's just fucking, he's out of control.
I thought that Hitler was like America. So I approaching it from this perspective, you say that Trump has a copy of Mein Kampf. Hitler had a portrait of Henry Ford, and Henry Ford had a portrait of Hitler. Every model, every Model T Ford in America was sold with a pamphlet on why we should exterminate Jewish people. Eugenics.
Are you fucking shitting me?
I am not shitting you.
Oh my God.
Most commonly held scientific truth in America in this time frame. And not only that, it is not just American businesses that supported Nazi Germany, which they fully did. Our educational institutions, our museum institutions, were all supporting Nazi Germany. And the reason why we were is because we ourselves are already the perpetuators of massive genocides. And we as Americans are pulled back from what we did to indigenous people, what we did to enslaved people. I mean, and we're not even just talking about the ones that arrived here, the almost 2 million people that were lost in the ocean between Africa and America. Not to mention, so like,
I'm an indigenous person. So my people were murdered off. T is Creole, so she's black and Native American and a part white and stuff. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we understand, because I talk about this all the fucking time about how our cultures were enslaved, because the Indians were enslaved too. They enslaved people, stick us in concentration camps, murder us off if we speak up. They fucking, and they make us, you know, work their fields and rape us and murder us and do whatever they want because, we want your land. We want your resources.
They also were cannibals, and they ate people. And my
God, holy shit.
If you ever want to go down that wormhole, there's
please,
called The Delectable Negro.
Okay.
It will blow your mind. But like, I also studied cannibalism across like early America to like when they first, like, when I say early America, I mean like the first round of settlers that came over. There was a gentleman, I talk about this a lot. There was a gentleman who in one of the first winters killed his wife, quartered and salted her, and ate her to survive, and then wrote a letter back to his family about everything that he did. And so, you know, we have evidence over and over and over again of medical experimentation.
Yes, a lot of it.
You know, removing people's, the word is like sterilizing a lot of people. We sterilize so many people. Eugenics never gone away in the United States. And to me, like, when you look at it, there was this fund called the Pioneer Fund that started in like the 20s. And it was like during the like late 90s, it was like a $4 billion stock hedge. And it was literally a fund created by a eugenics Nazi who wanted to continue that. And all they did was mass produce literature and send letters out to universities and teachers all over the country to continue white supremacy and eugenics in the United States of America.
Oh my God.
There are so many things that we hold common, things down to IQ tests, which are absolutely inaccurate. They do not judge intellect. And they were created for white supremacy to prove people superior. And so every test that comes up online where it goes, we're going to test your IQ, and people are walking around with some kind of fake number, I'm sitting here going, look at all of this that we're still seeking, you know, to judge ourselves by standards that are dehumanizing and racist. And so I, you know, being armed, like there was a really great anthropologist who, his name was Franz Boas, and he was a cultural anthropologist versus a biological anthropologist.
I like that. Okay.
Today as a physical anthropologist. So like in college, I took physical anthropology, but I also took cultural anthropology, and I was also part of an anthropological forum. And I, and Franz Boas was fired over and over and over again because he was working with students to disprove eugenics, which was functioning at that time in parallel to biological anthropology, to basically say that it wasn't true. And so he got fired, and he like got rehired at other places, and they got fired again, but his students kept coming in. And the way that they ended up toppling it as a category of science in education was that they pitched the ideas in their dissertations, his students. He had them pitch an idea to prove that eugenics was real. And then all of them in their papers disproved it. They couldn't prove it as real. And so this movement that Franz Boas was creating, he really fought for that within education. But that doesn't make eugenics disappear.
Right.
It's still built into all of these professors. Like I would say, what is it? Columbia University in the 90s was still had professors who got together behind the scenes and drank out of the skulls of enslaved people.
Oh my God.
Apartment. So like, and also Disney. Oh my God, this one for all those Disney gays. I'm sorry, but I also am not sorry.
Yeah.
In the late 90s, Disney had a full pitched plan to open a happy slave theme park in Virginia.
Oh my God.
Full
song. It doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me.
Doodah, Brer Rabbit.
Oh my God.
Park that was an American history park. And it's hard to find the documents now.
Oh my God.
Disney Corporation comes in and cleans the web, man. You can't even find their Hitler supporting. They had Hitler supporting cartoons, and you can't find them anywhere.
Wow.
They have tried to smudge all of Song of the South.
The
first version of Fantasia. They've tried to smudge all this stuff out of their.
Wow. All those racist cartoons back in remember when we were kids? They had the really racist cartoons like Aunt Jemima and the black dude with the giant lips and the fucking bowler hat and like all the different racist cartoons that they had back then. But
then go ahead and watch the skin color of Aladdin over the course of the movie. And what color is his skin when he's a street rat? And what color is his skin when he's a prince?
Interesting.
It goes way past that. The Disney Corporation has embedded at every level the ideologies that maintain white supremacy in America.
Right.
Maintain the of women, maintain all those things. It's embedded. Right. There was also a letter that a secretary had asked Walt Disney for a pay raise, and he wrote her a long letter back about why women don't deserve to be paid.
Oh my God, what a piece of shit.
Homophobic,
fucking sexist, and all that shit. Wow.
Yeah, well, and we can say it's a product of their time, but
I don't give a fuck. It's no excuse. No excuse.
But that time is the same, especially if you don't use the metrics of white women, because the metrics of white women destroy the reality of the compound of racism and sexism, right? So the figures between women of color versus white women are also have a decent spread, and that proximity to power that especially hetero white women feel when they marry powerful white men, right? Is puts them in a completely different position and viewpoint, right?
I like when you talked on the first episode about how do you say about the term that Priscilla used? That he said fishy, and I know that's a term they use in like the gay, guy drag world, whatever. I know that they use that term.
So it was actually.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Was born out of the ballroom scene, and was a term of in many ways endearment for trans women in the ballroom scene.
Okay,
I've had some really complex conversations about it being something that I shouldn't speak on because I'm not a trans woman in the ballroom scene.
Totally. Yeah. Okay.
However, the ballroom scene is currently being appropriated by RuPaul's Drag Race, and that has in turn now their language is being co-opted by white cis twinks, who
I got you.
Tyrannous in a dressing room with all of this. I've had some pretty over the years, some pretty wild experiences of men going into the bathroom to throw up. I used to do this number where I sculpted a vagina mohawk onto my head.
I love it. Sorry. I love it. I gotta see that. I love it.
It was great. It's somewhere down on my Instagram feed.
I gotta look at that.
I would do this song called "How Does My Cunt Taste?" And
I love it.
It was great. But someone would go, I remember at one point someone went and threw up and then had a tantrum about how disgusting vaginas were in the dressing room. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, everyone has dicks everywhere.
Right, I know.
This physical reaction, this gold star, platinum star gay bullshit. I just will not. It means nothing to me. I don't give
right.
Anyone has fucked as long as it was consensual. And
yes, good point. Good point. I love it.
I don't think that you're more gay, more lesbian, more this because you're playing with some kind of weird idea of purity.
Right.
And I'm sure you've heard about platinum star. Do you know what that means?
No, what's that?
Okay, so I learned this in a dressing room after someone had told me how disgusting I was because I have a vagina. Wow. And
Jesus.
And I really can't say this enough that it's so comical when I think about it in retrospect.
Right.
What was I just saying? Oh no.
My dressing room, platinum star.
Oh yeah, thank you. Platinum star. So it's when they haven't ever had sex with a woman, but they also were born by C-section, so they never came out of a pussy.
Interesting.
And I don't know if there's anything more gross or more disrespectful or more disgusting. I think it's one of the most horrifying concepts, and it says everything. Any cis gay person who says that to me, I know that I can't. I just don't have time for them.
Right. Got you.
They're at a level where they are seeing themselves as superior through misogyny.
Right.
Okay. And that means that they are finding themselves only powerful through the lens of oppressing others. And that fucked up. And they can go on a journey and maybe one day their claim to fame won't be their platinum star, but I don't need it in my life. I don't want it anywhere near me. And I don't want any women, any trans woman, any person capable of having a baby, anyone near those people. They're not ready. Right. That it's so gross.
Right.
I can't. I just really. It's a level of gross that's why would I even celebrate this? Why do I?
Right.
Care?
No, totally.
I do not care. To care who people have had sex with.
Yeah, it's none of our business. Not my business.
But what is the purity in any of this?
Yeah.
I truly don't understand.
I know. It's because everybody wants to be up everybody else's ass or some shit, and that's I need to know who you're fucking, what type of people you've fucked, what you've done, this, that, and the other thing. Look, my life is my life, my body's my body. I do what I want, and fuck like whoever you can like do with yourself what you want to, like live the best life you ever fucking want to live, whatever form that comes in, as long as you're not hurting other people. That's all that matters. Like, don't hurt other motherfucking people.
Well, also, yeah, absolutely. Don't like, and it reminds me of this. It reminds me of people who are so into, like, let's say a genre of music that they're an expert beyond expert, and no one else can like it. No one else likes it.
Oh Lord, that's stupid.
And then let's say they think they're a punk. But what they think being a punk is knowing punk music, liking punk music, and going to punk concerts.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's an ideology. It's an ideology of anarchism.
Yes.
And you like punk music and all of those things, but you are not into humanizing other people. And that's how you have a bunch of fucking white supremacist punk music.
Oh God.
I don't consider white supremacist punk music to be punk.
No.
It's not. It doesn't break
it's racist garbage
of oppression. And so, you know, but it's that purity of like, oh, I'm superior. I know everything. Like everybody's coming at something from a new time. If someone is suddenly really into Bjork, and I've been into Bjork for quite a long time.
Hell yeah.
I'm not going to play, oh, but do you know this from Bjork? And do you know this?
Oh, God.
Well, you're not cool enough to
like
Bjork. I can't stand that. And that's what this purity shit feels like, too. It feels like that's how they're valuing themselves. And if the way that you value yourself is by hating other people, and I just, we're not at the same, like, time. And I'm not going to not be in a dressing room with you, but I'm not going to make you my friend.
No, good point.
There's no thing. But simultaneously, how do those people learn unless they learn in community? But can I call them into that? I would say they need other gay men to call them into that. I think they need other cis gays to call them into it and say, hey, this is not how we find ourselves valuable. You're not valuable because of this purity. You're valuable because you're a human being, and you're valuable. Your perspective, your life, how you live, it is valuable. And the way you walk does not need to be on other people.
Right. Amen. Completely. You don't have to shit on others to build yourself up, to make yourself look fucking better. I don't understand why people feel the need to have to do that. Like, oh, I'm superior to you because, oh, I'm white. I'm blonde. I have green eyes. Like whatever.
And it is a comparison game. It's an endless comparison game. And it's a competition, even when it shouldn't be a competition.
Amen. It shouldn't be a competition. Exactly.
Nobody can be as mean about my art as I am about my art to me.
Well, yeah, because we're always we're always our worst critic or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
that just means this. It means this is that when I ask you if you liked my performance, it's because I didn't. And I'm wondering what your perspective was, because I'm feeling pretty crappy. I didn't like it.
Right.
And that doesn't mean it wasn't good. It means it wasn't what I wanted, which is like a distinct different thing. Right. But when I do it the way that I wanted to do it, I don't need everybody. I mean, it's nice to hear nice things, but I'm unshakable.
Which is awesome.
I've only experienced that a few times. I do numbers hundreds of times and go, I know I'm going to get this. And then sometimes I actually do. And then I go, holy shit, that was it. That's what I was looking for, and those numbers are probably some of my most memorable things that I've done. But it's also like I performed mostly for tiny audiences in like, punk bars and sex clubs, right?
Right. And,
parties. Like it's tiny audiences. So it's like, and then none of that could be documented online. I'm actually permanently shadow banned.
Oh, I got you.
Instagram. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago that I got a message saying that unless you look for my name specifically spelled properly, that I don't exist on Instagram. I will never be in a For You group. I will never be recommended. And if I pay for advertising, it will go nowhere.
Wow.
Because I'm too, no, I should have a private account. and I've thought about
Okay,
it.
got you.
Um,
Got you.
I should have a private account.
Because you push the boundaries. You push boundaries. And I like that about you, that you push those boundaries of art, and you make people think, and you make people feel something, whatever that may be. You know what I mean? That's on the whatever, their own thing. But I think I like the fact that you push boundaries. I just think it's amazing. And I wish more artists were as free and open to try new things and do different things and not just be stuck in their, a confined box.
Well, for a long time, I was, in the space of the booked and blessed, like, kind of energy, especially from about 2016 to 2000, early 2020, shall we say, right? Mm-hmm. And like I was performing a lot, and then post pandemic, like coming out of the 1 year of shutdown in California. I mean, some states didn't even.
That was horrible
for more than 2
that
months.
was horrible.
I don't. Was it horrible? I think what was horrible is how many people died.
Yes, that's what it is.
I think that us staying home was what we needed to do.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So most definitely.
I think it was challenging for everybody, for fuck's sake, yes.
Yeah.
But also, it was the right thing to do.
No, I agree completely. Wholeheartedly, I agree. Yeah. All these idiots out there fucking partying and not wearing masks or using sanitizer or any kind of anything. They're just like, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because COVID isn't real. The orange Cheeto said so. It doesn't exist. I can do whatever I want and not affect anybody. And then they go and get their grandmother, who's elderly and sickly already, sick, and then she dies. Well, what the fuck, dude? Like, you should have stayed home and done what they were advising you to do and not just gone out there and done all that, because now you have led to the deaths of other people.
Well, and it's still going on. And I think that the lack of connection to CDC now for the American public.
Yes, my God.
Such a problem going forward.
Oh, yeah.
To be a problem, and there are still plenty of immune compromised and disabled
people yes,
come out into club spaces. So, just acknowledge that, and knowing that there is a COVID variant out there right now that is really horrible, and people are getting sick, and people are still dying from COVID. Which is why I still think, the shutdown, I'm not saying it was great. There were definitely some things that, like, I think feeling what it was like to depend on a virtual community, I think could bring a lot more if people reflected on that experience as to how you stayed connected with people online, right?
Right.
The regular experience of many people in the disabled community, like it might be able to allow people to connect empathetically, to that they maybe have not even thought about before. And so, I just came out of it though. And like drag was in this like deep scarcity mode. Clubs were trying to stay open. Performers really needed money, and everybody wanted drag to be entertainment and fluffy.
Got you.
It had to be fluffy. And I kept feeling more and more like there wasn't a place for me at this new scarcity challenge. And I saw the scarcity and I acknowledged it as natural. And I didn't feel so many ways about it. But like I felt even more so coming out of the pandemic, like I was taking up space and that I was creating like an energetic shift that was not welcome in clubs. And so I think maybe, and then my drag mom passed away, which was devastating.
I'm so sorry.
2021. I really, I think it completely transformed my connection to drag. And so I started producing these larger shows that were in her honor. And my drag mom, her name was Fatima Rude.
Okay.
And she was, you know, a body modifying, incredible, like glamorous punk, filthy creature. Like she
Oh, I
was
love it.
truly one of the like late 80s, all of the 90s creatures of San Francisco that had so
Right.
few limits and just did anything. Even if it
Oh,
didn't work, even if it like nobody liked it, she just did it anyway. She did anything, and that energy created a 90s in San Francisco that gave lots of people to do permission, gave them permission to make art as themselves or try that
Mm-hmm.
wild, because
Mm-hmm.
anything that you were trying could not be as wild as what Fatima was trying.
Okay.
Like it just was, it was this grand permission slip that she gave an entire community of artists. And I was lucky enough in the early 2000s to come into in this community where there were not so many rigid drag rules.
Right.
And you know, I think Honey Mahogany, and I was at Honey Mahogany's
Yeah.
very first drag show she ever performed at.
Yeah.
And she went on that show and she said, you know, in San Francisco, it's not about the look. And then
Yeah.
everybody has to backpedal and like explain it, but she's not wrong. It was
Okay.
about story and performance. And
Right.
like San Francisco particularly, you know, people didn't tear each other apart for wearing a plastic bag or a costume from Ross or like,
Okay.
you know, like it, because that has its own story. And
Right.
if you
Right.
tell a story, you can tell a story in that and it can be a perfectly valuable. But if what you're telling is the story of only when you spend money, it's better. Only when you appear to have spent lots of money, it is better.
Mm-hmm.
It's a capitalist narrative. And the
Right.
narrative
Amen.
should not be rooted in the idea that we have to be on a competitive Olympic stage with Jean-Paul Gaultier. Like that's
Yeah.
it to me. I love fashion. I love beautiful looks. I love people who
Right.
put energy into it and make stories. But I don't
Right.
have a requirement that good drag be Gaultier.
Yeah,
You know?
or Mugler or Klaus Nomi or all these other fucking incredible, you know, artists and you know, clothing and designers and stuff. You don't, it doesn't have to be like that. Like I've seen people put out incredible drag and they get all their shit from the thrift store. They get all their shit from like Goodwill, Salvation Army. They got their shit from like the Dollar Tree, the 99-cent store, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like they got their shit and they made it into something and created something. And, you know?
I do feel like in the current, you know, timeline that we are in and in this current time that art needs to be a little more scrappy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Needs to
Good
be a little
point.
bit more about using what you have, but also it needs to
Right.
look a bit more like resource sharing. So like, you know, coming out of the pandemic and then having my drag mom pass away, I started doing these shows and I've done 2 of them so far, one in 2022 and then one in 2024. And it's called Rebirth. The first one was just called Rebirth and the second one was called Rebirth, the Death of Drag.
Okay.
And it is a show to honor process over product. And it's meant to be a very vulnerable space. And like I talked about earlier, the artists are in the audience and there's an equality of audience and artist. And the first one, I built a womb out of a 10-foot geodesic children's dome play structure. And then I covered it in fabric and then put a bunch of like birthing portals that were buttholes and vaginas all over it. Right. And you can be born from anything as far as I'm concerned. Right.
Yes. No. Yeah.
The whole cast was born into the space. And when I propose, I don't have a host. So like the show just flows like a theater. And then there are the individual artists, and then there's a transition involving almost the whole cast. Or maybe the artist who's doing the next solo number can't be a part of the transition going into or out of their number, right? So it's the whole cast setting it up. And that's about me creating a structure that is about creating a diverse emotional journey across the show. So like, for example, and then in Rebirth, Death of Drag, I went to well, I'm going to say this first actually. So like there was one transition where we used Diamanda Galas. Do you know who that is?
No.
Look her up. And
Okay.
actually, and listen to her interviews, because I don't know if there's a better interview that exists than listening to any time she gets interviewed. But she's an incredible avant-garde jazz musician who also is
oh wow, okay,
HIV activist, and created a really incredible performance body called Plague Mass that was about calling out politicians and religious people for their inaction during the HIV and AIDS crisis. And her style is hers and hers alone, like no one else.
Okay.
So we did this piece where I asked the cast to tell me at one point where they hold grief in their body. Like when you feel sadness, like where do your muscles hurt? Where does your body feel? Like the pain of that? Where are you storing sadness in your body?
Right.
Ask them to imagine that gravitational force changed, and now the only thing it wants to take into the ground to be buried is your sadness and your grief.
Okay.
And so now we're going to take this 4-minute long song where this artist repeats over and over again, "You don't know what love is." And everybody's slowly getting pinned to the ground by the part of the body where they hold their grief.
Okay.
And then half of us went down and came out of it ourselves. So that at the end of that transition, there were 4 artists pinned to the ground, and they stayed pinned through the next artist's number. They didn't move.
Okay.
And then the next transition, those of us who were able to move came back with plates with berries and water, brushes, and different things that anyone wanted to bring these people out, to give them the care, to nurture them, to feed them, to give them water. And I really wanted to show like how you show up when someone is in grief, because I need space to be a space for grief. We have grief, you know, and that not confronting that grief is part of where we are societally today, and why a society of people that don't have empathy. And
Good point.
So like, you know, I came out, and my drag daughter, whose name is I Adapt, is
I like that.
Oh, she's lovely. It's like her 5th drag name. It's very funny. But we finally, when we came on to that particular drag name, like it was like, oh, this is the one. It will always adapt to her because it's about adaptation. So
I like it.
You know, and so I pulled her up and walked her over to this little platform, and I rubbed her back, and I gave her water, and I fed her berries, and I held her, and I you know, I just made space for it. But at the same time, you could be looking at any group of 4 or 5 of us doing this for one another, holding that space, you know? So that was just as important. But what's just as important for me is you have this really heavy darkness, and the way we alleviate it is by actually acknowledging the grief, but then also caring for the grief, right? And showing what it looks to show up in a community. This would be a solid example of, you know, I could come out and say, take care of your artist on a sign, or I could come out and take care of an artist. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and everybody did it in a slightly different way, which was really beautiful. And then, you know, but we also did a thing where wigs came out of the ceiling, and we all got into mall drag. And then the next number, we did a drag race where we did a slow motion drag race to the Dan Police songs from Charity of Fire.
Yes. Yeah.
Tore each other's clothes and wigs off each other, and then everybody on the ground trying to get over each other, basically naked. You know what I mean? I think
that's
coming
amazing.
The value point that I value that equal to valuing this. that I see the complexity of emotional reaction experience. And I actually say, like I said at the beginning of this, that I'm greedy and I want it all as an audience. And so when I'm producing, I'm really interested in giving all of that to everybody. But I want the artists in the show to bring exactly what they need to bring, even if they thought of something new that morning. I don't care. I want them to bring what they need to bring as artists in whatever stage it's in, because I don't have that requirement. So in order to make sure that the community gets the full range of emotions, I curate that into the transitions and then give the artist the absolute freedom to bring exactly what they need with no, you don't have to wear clothes. You don't have to do makeup. You don't have to have props. You can sit and just like lip sync. You could tape your mouth, do nothing. Like, what do you need to make? How do you there's too many, so I want them to have this freedom, and sometimes I learn that in all of the grace I try to give others, I don't always extend it to myself.
Okay. Yeah. I got you.
So I feel like it's a consistent lesson I learned. And I think in this last one, what I learned was that I couldn't extend it to myself, and therefore the freedom that I wanted to give to others couldn't actually exist because I didn't include myself in it. Because I asked for support when I needed it, and I need to be better at asking for help. But I think that's a journey a lot of people go through. But what was so interesting about the actual show is I got fabric donated from drag performers up and down the state of California. From San Diego to Chico, like just across the state, and also designers who were making costumes for drag performers. Wow. And then I took all of that fabric and I cut it into squares and I made a giant blanket for it. So whereas the first show, I wanted all the artists came out of a womb, I wanted the whole audience to be in the womb.
Oh, and wow. So
I spent months sewing together this giant blanket for it. And then those squares of fabric, I was thinking, God, think about all the performers who could have just used this fabric to make a costume. And we need to be more in the spot of sharing the things we're not using and also of making, things with less. And also of letting go of traditional venues for performance. Like the performance should come to the streets. It should move into public spaces.
Good point.
It needs to start accessing people that don't necessarily constitute a quote unquote safe space. Because this is like, it's, safe spaces aren't real. There's no such thing as a safe space. It's just that sometimes we trust that when unsafe things happen in a space, the people who run it are going to do the right thing by us when that unsafe thing happens. You can't really, like, you go to a club to do drugs. You can't say, oh yes, this is a safe space. There's no way to know.
Right. Good point. Good point.
And I like that. Everybody's idea of a safe space is different. Just like, for some people, it might be about controlling the whole space in order to not have to confront their traumas and triggers. But that has put us in the position of creating spaces where it's not safe for anybody to do that. And like, how do we grow as a community if we're still using nightclubs as our central community space?
Okay. Got you.
So so now I perform less often. And I spent a lot of time writing grants to get money, although now we have less grant opportunities, but some are still out there. Writing grants to get the money so that I can pay the artists, and also so that I can offer No One Turned Away for Lack of Funds, so that people who can come to the show to make it accessible. So the artist gets paid and the community can come and see, and I don't have to worry about how many people paid or how many tickets and am I going to be able to afford to pay everybody. It's like we're going to get the artist paid and the audience can come for free.
No, good. That's great. I like that. I've been looking into the grant thing too, because I do my own, I run my own performances, concerts, music festivals, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I've been wanting to do the drag shows. And I like what you're talking about. I would like it to be a freeing experience where it's not, it's just drag kings or it's just, drag queens, or it's whatever. I want it to be for anyone, who wants to express their art. And I want to make sure that they're getting paid for that, because their time is valuable. Their art is valuable, and they should get paid for that, because, you know what I mean? Without all of you,
Mm-hmm.
life would be fucking boring without, I don't know, TV, movies, whatever, without all these things that make us feel and make us happy or sad or whatever. Like all these art, going to see a show like a drag show, going to a concert or a festival or a play or a theater show, whatever. If it brings you joy and you truly appreciate the art for the art, and don't try to pick it apart and be like, oh, this and that, whatever. No, appreciate the art. And all of you deserve to make money for your art. You know what I mean?
And there'll never be enough to I want people to make a ton of money. But on the other side of that too, I also have come into the space where I realized in order to put on the show, I also needed the people who were willing to give me fabric. Right.
Right.
Like in more recent times, I've been helping friends on projects, and I don't want them to pay me for that. I want to be a part of my friend realizing that, and that community looks like a give and take of this. And sometimes, it really does take a village to make the whole thing happen. And
completely.
that, the more I realize, the more you invest in making the dreams come true for people around you, the more likely that, you can turn around and ask for the help to make yours come true too.
Right.
And that's what, I mean, gosh, it was, God, I want to say 2016, I met this incredible musician in San Francisco, and she changed my world. And it was the beginning of me trying to stop saying the word rich and wealth to mean money. And so wealth for me is community. People who have money. People who hoard money are billionaires. They're money hoarders. So they're not rich and they're not wealthy. And that's really clear because they can't close their mouths. They're in endless hole consumption, and they're greedy beyond any kind of reason.
Yes.
I look at that and I go, these are money hoarders. All billionaires are money hoarders.
They are, yes.
And then there are people between, there that have money, and they're just people with money. But your richness and your wealth is in your community. And the more we get into the mutual aid and caring for one another, the more we understand that we will be cared for when it's our turn. And that in caring for each other, we only become more valuable. We only see one another's humanity as stronger and stronger and stronger. And that there are more people in this world who would do this than the people that would wage war. There's more of us to help each other than there are to tear each other down.
Yeah.
And I believe that with my whole self. And whenever it gets really dark, as it keeps getting all the time, I think about that. I think about all the people around me who have my back, and all the people around me who are tirelessly working, and the work that I do to make sure that people around me understand how valuable they are. Whether it is feeding people, helping people to get housed, creating more spaces for people, creating new ways. I think about this one drag performer in San Francisco all the time. Their name is Syzygy, and they hold a public show at the beach twice a week. And they do it at sunset, so the sun is setting. And of course, the drag performers run into the ocean, which is freezing in San Francisco at all times.
I bet.
And, but it's drag on the beach. You don't need. You don't need to. And then it's this special experience. And and then we have a naked beach in San Francisco. So one of the days in the week is the naked day, and the other is the not. And it and during the colder months it doesn't happen, or the rainy times. But it reminds you that you don't have to be limited by the idea that you can only be successful at a bar or a club.
Amen.
That there are
Good point.
other spaces that we need to start creating and making use of, because also, you know, one of the most amazing ways for artists in this time, one of the most amazing things artists can do in this timeline is make art, but make that art in places that more people will see it, where people might stumble upon it. And I think the stumbling into it is part of the awakening, and it's part of reaching people outside of your choir. You know, I this is so interesting because, you know, when I said that I went on Dragula to say things nobody else would say, part of that is because everybody says I'm going to win and then I'm going to have a platform to speak. But the people you have at the end of your platform are the people who already agree with you. So the people you have when you're on the show are a lot of people that probably don't like you, you know, like, and when you have that platform, you'll make waves, right? And that's fine. You know, like that is where you'll really be able to speak to people who don't like you, you know, who had never thought about it. And, you know, if I did anything on Dragula, I started a fucking international conversation about misogyny in the drag community. And it was, when I had that conversation, I was very specific to make sure that it was about the misogyny of both trans people and cis women and non-binary people, that it was not, you know, that we had like a much longer conversation that involved a lot more people than what you saw. And to this day, I would say if they had let our cast be cool, friendly, and educational, we had a revolutionary group of artists, a lot of like for reality TV, a lot of older artists. Madeline and I are, you know, Madeline and I are the same age. Landon and Louisiana are just a little bit older than both of us. And you know, like there were some people who've been doing drag for a very long time. And then also people like Maxi Glamour who are super political and like really entrenched in change and justice and social justice work. And like, you know, the conversations. And then you have community leaders like Violencia exclamation point, who has created a stellar community in Boston and who remains a central figure in that community scene. She's a mover and a fucking shaker, and she is
that we didn't get to see enough of that. Do you know what I mean? Because like, well, I mean, I don't know. It's just like because the fear of jumping out of an airplane. I don't blame her. I mean, like a lot of people would be scared to jump out of a fucking airplane, but like, unfortunately, that made it so we didn't get to see all of their other amazing art and shit.
My cat is screaming outside my door. Can I just let her in real quick?
No, totally. We like meows.
Oh,
hell yeah.
To come out. I see how it is.
I got you. Well, I mean, I guess we can wrap it up. We've been on here for a while. But you have been incredibly educational. I loved learning all the things that you talked about tonight. I was very fascinated and engaged. And I think this is one of our best conversations. I don't know about you, T, but I think this and Abora, two of the most incredible conversations we have had on this show. And I like discussing real stuff, but I like discussing real subject matter, real things that affect real people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? When I like to the finish line, actually, I have a psychic that I do readings with every year. And the first time she ever did a reading, she was like, you have a friend named Ryan. And I was like, oh yeah. She was like, this person will do anything for you. And I was like, whoa. but like also I would fucking do anything for Abora. I will fight a bitch.
Right. I love Abora.
Like
I love him.
She's my heart, my soul.
Yeah.
You know incredible. What it is? We're both moody. We're both politically minded, and we're both have dark humor. And we both laugh a lot. So when we're together, like I almost pee my pants laughing. And it is
I think that's oh my God. I think that's why I'm drawn to you in Abora. just because like T knows I have a very dark sense of humor and I'm extremely political and an anarchist and all that shit. So like you and Abora really speak to me as artists and just as people in general. Like I don't know. I like both of you.
I got like to like put it in. Abora will come up here. Came to see both of my big shows that I produced, both rebirths.
Awesome.
Here just to come and see my shows that were important to me. As she's come up for my birthday, I've gone to LA for my birthday.
Such a sweetheart. Just
like really, and for the short time I lived in LA, when I finally needed to move, in December of 2020, I would not have been able to do it without her. I
love it.
Really helped me in a way that I don't know that I don't know. She's my heart. She's one of my best friends.
Incredible person.
I can't wait to laugh with her. And sometimes like she will be casually talking about something and I can't stop laughing. About this, and someone else has reacted badly to something she did, and I'm listening to it and I think it's fucking hilarious, and so I can't stop laughing. And then kind of just more recently something happened where I just couldn't stop laughing, and it just like kind of turned it in a different direction for her. I think we're very good. I call her all the time and just say, "You're a fucking genius."
Yes,
you're a fucking genius. You're an artist genius. Yes. You're a fucking genius. Yes. And I wish I actually used DeepSeek, the Chinese AI app.
Oh, okay.
I asked it who would win in a competition between Abora and Hollow Eve. And it was, and I did this while we were together in LA in June together. I was in LA. It was the funniest read down either one of us have ever gotten on our art. It was so fucking good. Actually, do you want to hear like one line from it before?
Yes.
It's so fucking funny. I hope she doesn't kill me. But she did tell me after she did your podcast and saw that I was doing it. She was like, "Oh, you're gonna have so much fun," and she was right. Okay, let's see.
Awesome.
Okay, this is so funny. Okay. The ultimate showdown between Abora and Hollow Eve would be a clash of two radically different but equally powerful drag philosophies, and the winner would depend entirely on the criteria. Here's how they might stack up. For aesthetic, innovation, and concept, Abora wins for otherworldly, cohesive fantasy. Their looks are like haunted sculptures blending tragedy and beauty. Hollow wins for raw, confrontational storytelling. Their art forces to feel discomfort and question norms. But it goes through this, and it's really just so funny. And the final one, it's like, the final verdict, it goes through a pretty long post, but it says, in a traditional drag competition like Dragula, Abora likely takes the crown. Their artistry aligns more closely with the Boulet's vision. In an underground, no-rules battle, Hollow Eve eviscerates by refusing to play the game at all. And
sounds so on point.
That line was so on point for me. Like,
that's amazing.
But it really goes through like different aspects. Like it knows the looks, it knows why we got competed. It was a very wild moment, and I never thought to ask AI anything like that. But we were just laughing and laughing about our drag, and we're in her apartment, and she's got this loft artist space, and like if you like Amy and I. We're talking, Amy. Amy said, if you went up to a clothes rack of costumes of like 25 drag performers, you would know which one was Abora's every time. Like there would be no question. The aesthetic is so roundly hers, and also
definitely.
the way that she executes in the style and the meaning behind so many of the layered parts of her work. I'm a particularly huge fan of the way that she distorts her face with clay.
Right. Yes.
Those sweeping looks where she's dealing with her own connection to her understanding of herself. And I find it to be tremendously deep. But then I also really enjoy how she can be in a really deep look and do something stupid. And it's like, it's just extremely enjoyable to me. I love her so much. This has been so fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We want to thank Hollow Eve so much for being on Gagging for More tonight. We appreciate everything that you do. Keep being you. And before we go, can you please tell everyone if you have a performance coming up anytime soon? And also, where can people find you? Like social media, websites, things like that.
Well, I don't really have a performance coming up soon. There's a possible performance out of the country, but I can't talk about it yet.
Got you. Totally.
And then I have a website, holloweve.com. I never update it. So, and even if you go onto it, you'll see that there's a section for a podcast that Abora and I were going to start together. That
I love it.
Never happened. Although I actually think we should, maybe in like 2 years. And then just Instagram at Hollow Eve. I'm not super active right now, but anybody who wants to send me messages, I'm pretty responsive to anything. If you have questions about body modification, drag, like working through a number, anything like that, people are consistently seek me out for those things. So like if there's anything you have questions about because you're doing something that in some way you think I would be helpful for it, I'm always happy to help. And I'm always open for sharing my knowledge. I don't hold anything as like sacred or mine. I'm not possessive of any of it. So, a lot of artists around me have come to me when they've decided to move into piercing their faces or using staplers or any of that kind of stuff. And I'm always happy to help people do that safer and safer. There's always risk involved, but I'm always happy to help people to the safest possible pathway. So
that's amazing. I love it. Well, thank you for being on the show tonight. Please, everyone, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow. That's the big thing. Help support the art. Help support everybody's, career. Also, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and follow to our stuff like Get Real Global TV on YouTube, or our podcast, Gagging for More, or our other podcasts that we have, such as Wicked Entertaining, Fear and Fascination, Horror, Sci-Fi, and Fantasy Unleashed, or the Venus and Mars Show. Please check out all of our different things. And also check out my daughter, Samantha Bailey's Minds on a Mission podcast, where she talks to entrepreneurs how to run their businesses better and be more successful. Well, thank everyone so much for watching this show tonight. And thank you again, Hollow Eve. And you have a wonderful rest of your night.
You too as well. Have a magical night, and keep being loud and anarchist and connecting with people and connecting people throughout the world to their favorite artists. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's keep doing this. Mutual aid is the way, my friends.
Amen. And thank you again to the effervescent, amazing, incredible bestie of mine, the lesbian in charge, Silent Giggles, aka Tashina Saunders. Have a good night to all. Stay safe, and come back next week as we have more artists on the show.
Yeah.